Hello and welcome to The View from the Lane, the Tottenham Hotspur podcast from The Athletic. I am your host, Danny Kelly. No, sorry, there is in fact no Danny today. I am your host, Jack Pitt-Brooke, because this is in fact a very, very special bonus edition of the podcast. Joining me today is James Moore. Hello, James.
Hello.
And a lifelong Spurs fan, famous comedian, dare I say, national treasure.
No, that's not the case.
Michael McIntyre. Hi, Michael.
Well, it's so nice to be amongst fellow Spurs fans. I was going to say supporters, but it's more like a support group that we need.
Exactly right.
It's nice to be with you and to know that everyone listening has our shared love for... I used to say the mighty Spurs, but it's hard. It's getting harder and harder to involve the word mighty.
This is a safe space for you, Michael.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever you need to say, whatever you need to get off your chest, you can do that here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Big fan of the pod, and let's talk Spurs.
Yeah, it's difficult. Some things in life are important to talk about, difficult to talk about, painful to talk about, often upsetting to talk about. Yes. But you have to grasp the nettle and confront them. And I think talking about Tottenham Hotspur is one of those things.
And I've become known as a fan now. I get a lot of people in the street wanting to I suppose they're all your listeners.
Do they come up to you and say, why don't they play a back three?
Well, they don't come for tactics. It's more like, come on the Spurs and aren't we awful? But, sort of endless tactical discussions, it's quite hard to influence that. I mean, because I sometimes sit near people who can make these decisions. I'm always trying to find out who we're going to sign. This is my obsession, which I suppose you know more of here because you've got access to that information more than,
in theory,
more than me. And I have, been around managers over the years, and even though I know nothing, I've tried to get my opinions across. I think I know. And they tend to be quite nice to me. I mean, when Ryan Mason was in caretaker charge,
first time or
I
second
don't think
time?
he appreciated it at all.
No, really?
Yeah. Well, I just couldn't understand how we just couldn't get the ball forward. There was something going very badly wrong in midfield. And I said, should we put another player in there? And I thought that would be the solution. I thought maybe if we've got more people back there, it might help us get forward. That was the theory.
Yeah.
But no, he shut me down very quickly, and I felt bad. I probably shouldn't have brought it up. He told me that you can't play 12 players, but that wasn't my point. He said, "What you want to play with 12?" I went, "No, not an." Anyway, I just left it. I think I met Ange at the cricket before he'd taken over at all.
Oh yeah.
And I made a beeline, and for some reason in my mind, just as a fan, I was like, I've got to just tell him everything I feel. So I went very big on Giovanni Lo Celso. I was like, we've got this player called Lo Celso, and I can't remember what had happened at that time, but he wasn't getting any game time. I think we would maybe put him out on loan, and I just couldn't understand it. I thought, and maybe subsequently that's been proved incorrect, that we really needed a player of his ability, and I thought, he was decent, but ultimately probably not. I was wrong.
Well, I don't know. I thought he was pretty good at the start under Jose.
Yeah. He flattered to deceive, didn't he? Which probably sums up that era of
But he
Spurs,
did give him another chance, Ange, and I kept thinking,
was that because of you?
Did I influence that?
Oh yeah,
and then he didn't do well. So I was quite.
Has a manager actually sought advice from you? Has a manager ever said, Michael, while you're here?
I do have because genuinely, I do try and influence things, and I think I do fail. So when Vinay came to the club, I didn't want to ask him for his number. So Roman Kemp is a big Arsenal fan, and he was at Arsenal. So I said, and he said, "Oh, Vinay's a great guy. They're actually doing something very, very important together for mental health." And I was like, and he's a lovely man. And I said, "Well, do you think you could give me his number?" So I took his number and I immediately told him to sign. I said, "Sign Xavi Simons." I could.
Wow.
And then he ignored me, but then did sign Xavi Simons a few weeks later and texted me back and went, "Okay." And I was like, "Oh wow. God!" And now he's coming at me. he's like, but Xavi's going to come good. I'm already saying things I shouldn't say.
Well, he's playing well.
He did. He's looking good. Yeah.
So we're recording this, I think we can say this, the day after the Borussia Dortmund game, which I think was probably his best game yet for Tottenham. Started 4 games in the spin, he's looking stronger and fitter. And
I think stronger's important, isn't it? He did look a bit weak at the start physically. He was falling over a lot. That's the basics of not being strong enough. It's hard to understand the difference between, Europe and the Premier League and this physicality, because you don't always see it. Because European teams come and beat us and play very well. Why is it such a difference? He certainly he didn't play in his position. This is why a lot of my grumbles about Spurs is playing people in the right position. And he came into Spurs, and we don't have a left winger, and he's not a left winger. Right. So clearly we wanted to see him just creating and getting on the ball. Yeah. And it wasn't really until he came on against Brighton, he looked all right at the end of that game. The Liverpool thing was really unfortunate when he got sent off.
Yeah, incredibly harsh.
But I mean, so joyous when he scored that goal, when he took the ball. That's all you want. And when you're watching football, in your mind, that happens all the time. In your mind, it's like, go on. And then every once in a while, Son, Van der Ven, and Xavi Simons, they'll just keep going and score.
I do worry. Have you seen this photo of his foot from last night? He posted on his Instagram a photo of his foot, Xavi Simons, and it's like completely black and blue. It's like the size of a small house, this thing.
What's happened? Why does this
I don't know.
happen
This
to
is when
Spurs?
exactly.
He's lost his foot.
So we'll see when this comes out. I think a week after the Burnley game will have been by now, so we'll know.
He won't have a foot. You hear of players not having a left foot, but will he physically not be in possession of a foot? What foot is it? Because this is important.
Well, I need to picture it now.
I can't
Where are toes?
Left foot.
It's his left foot.
So I mean, I think it's his weaker foot.
It's
so
his weaker foot. Okay.
In theory, less damaging. Although, I guess you need a standing
where
foot.
Spurs fans are clutching at straws.
Right.
The fact that Xavi has literally no left foot, we'll take.
So can we go back to the start of your Spurs supporting life? Can you remember how and when you decided to let Spurs in?
I do remember the actual moment. My family, not football fans. This was 1987. Grandstand was on the television on Saturday afternoon, and whoever was hosting, I don't know, Des Lynam or someone said it was the beginning of the season. Spurs look like they're going to be good this season, and I literally just thought I'm going to follow them and see if they are. So I thought just as something to do, and we actually had a great season. It started really well. We came third, I think, in the league. David Pleat was the manager. We got to the final of the FA Cup, and I thought this was going to be a great life.
Was it roughly the time they lost that cup final to Coventry that you realised maybe actually it wasn't going to be such a great life?
I think when I was younger, I wasn't like as passionate. Yeah, we were quite mid-table, weren't we? I mean, I was very excited when Klinsmann came. I loved Teddy Sheringham. When I was very young, I suppose Gazza was there. But yeah, there were a lot of stodgy years where you were just sort of watching. And this is what I always think when you think of footballers. I don't know if you have this, but you will immediately get a montage in your mind of their sort of a highlights package that gets edited into your brain. So you'll say something like Rule Fox, and all I see is him running and doing nothing else but running, and then maybe getting a corner. Like Aaron Lennon, it's just he gets a corner. I can see him getting a corner, but there's a bit of jinking. There's a bit of jinking that goes into the mix. So you sort of remember these players from history, and I am served up. Like the best one would be Bale. It's just extraordinary when I get my Bale montage. So there was a lot of players with not so great montages in my mind. And then things really picked up, I suppose. That Harry Redknapp team was great, wasn't it? We were really on for something then. Do you remember that season when we I think he was linked to the England job, and we had Bale flying, and Lennon was actually as well, but who was scoring the goals then?
Van der Vaart. Sorry,
Van der Vaart was looking.
Adebayo was good that season.
Adebayo was good. Yeah.
We had who else was in that?
Modric. Should we go for the whole team and get your assessment of the 11, 12 team? Okay,
I'll give you a montage
for every one of these players.
You really know your stuff, don't you? Give me a couple.
Benoit Asuakoto.
Oh, Benoit. Well, famously, apparently, not a football fan.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, how do people know that? Did somebody just ask him in an interview, do you like football?
Yeah, I think he said in an interview that he never watched it. He doesn't watch any games. He barely knows who the other teams are. He just shows up and does his job.
Is that the same for Ben White? Is that?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
just heard that said,
Yeah, it's funny how
Yeah.
that gets out that you just don't like the game. But for me, not much play is coming into my mind. It's hair. There's a lot of
Yeah,
hair.
that's
I
fair.
feel like I can't see through the hair. But he was solid. Rooted to the left side.
So there's still,
Scott Parker.
Ledley King was still playing for that
Let
team.
me talk Scott Parker. For
Let's
me,
do Scott
the
Parker.
montage of Parker is this sort of this circle. He would go in a circle. he would get the ball and he would go in a total 360 circle with the ball and then pass it.
Yeah.
It was like, we really need to get on with this, Scott. We're trying to progress the ball and we're having to have the circle every time.
But I think he could only do that in one direction.
In one direction, yeah.
Oh yes, no, it was an anti-clockwise circle. They worked with him for hours in training to get him to go clockwise, but they could not quite get that over the line. So Scott, but an amazing player. This was really towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
That he was with us.
Ledley King.
Any Spurs fan who doesn't have the same words in their mind is not worth their salt. You can't say Ledley King without saying Rolls Royce. I nearly put it to you to test it. Ledders, who I saw last night,
Of course.
a very, very sweet, lovely man and a total Spurs legend. But just so much composure. The way that he would, with the ball, and then timing of his tackles. Yeah, what a talent and what a player that I suppose that never quite was because of injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally had no knees, isn't
Only
that
got
right?
one
He had
knee.
no cartilage.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit like we're going to have to do this Xavi with his one foot.
This one thing,
Yeah.
But
No, Ledley, absolutely incredible. Who did he play alongside though? Bit of Dawson.
Kabul.
Yeah, Eunice Cabal.
Oh,
Gallas
Eunice.
was still there.
William Gallas.
Gallas, who played for everyone, Chelsea, Arsenal, and
Yeah.
Spurs. It's a shame when you have these huge hopes. When I was a kid, I suppose the big one was Darren Anderton. I spent most of my childhood waiting for Darren Anderton to get fit. It was an endless, when is Darren Anderton going to be back? And then he would come back for England. He would be all right for England. But yeah, constantly injured.
Kyle Walker.
Wow.
The start of his career.
Kyle Walker, you'll never beat Kyle Walker. I mean, we've got the same thing with Van der Ven. It's an amazing thing to watch, isn't it? When someone's running through and you suddenly realise it's Van der Ven, and you're just like, let's just enjoy the show.
Yeah, feet up.
He's gonna get it, and we're all gonna have a little verse of the only song we have left. Have you noticed that we have no songs left?
Yeah.
We've only got Mickey Van der Ven, Van der Ven, Mickey Van der Ven. We sold Johnson. We at least had a song for him. Carl Walker, exactly the same. Just like literally, you'll never beat him. And he was very good at doing a little tug that he would get away with at
he's good
times,
at that.
especially in that Liverpool game.
Luka Modric in his last season at Spurs.
Modric, well, he started very badly when he came for Spurs.
Quite Xavi Simons, really. Like quite lightweight on the ball.
Of course, that's exactly what we're all hoping. That Xavi wins the Ballon d'Or one day. But yeah, he was frail. There were signs, but yeah, we had to really stick with him. I never understood it. He didn't do much. He scored a few good goals. He looked all right, but there was so much interest, and Chelsea wanted to buy him, didn't they? And then obviously he went to Madrid, and he struggled there at the beginning, but has become maybe like the greatest midfielder. I mean, the way he passes and squirts the ball around and is able to still do that, he's amazing. And of course, I saw him once in my car on the Finchley Road, and I was such a Spurs fan that it's quite creepy. I followed him. He drove past me. I was like, it's bloody Luka Modric. So I thought, and I just didn't want the moment to end. So I drove around London behind Luka Modric for a while. I mean, it got to the point I thought he must be lost, or is he trying to shake me off? But I got a thumbs up from Modric.
How far into the chase was that?
It was a while. I mean, I think we're on the M25, London Orbital.
Raphael van der Vaart.
Van der Vaart was a great player, and he loves Spurs, doesn't he? Van der Vaart was good in that team. Scored a lot of goals, and the passion is great. It's always good when you see passion in the players, and you know what I mean. Passion when you're winning, and and that you believe it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of this. I know it's a podcast, but there's a lot of this that goes on. Does that pump up the? Sorry, I should describe what I'm doing. I'm raising both hands to tell the crowd.
Siemens did a lot of that last night.
Yeah. Simmons was he was constantly doing that after everything.
Porro
good.
does a lot of that.
Yeah, Porro's a big fan.
Particularly when I think players often do it when they're kind of in a bad mood and they want to sort of shame the fans a little bit.
Yes, you never know whether they're criticising.
Come on, guys, give us a bit more noise.
Yeah. Yeah, Porro's busy, isn't he? He does a lot of that. And when he hurts himself, he does this thing with his hand that goes on.
Yeah. He does do that.
He sort of shakes his hand really, really rapidly.
And finally, Adebayor.
Emmanuel Adebayor. He was playing for Spurs, isn't it, when he ran the entire pitch?
No, City.
Then
he went to Spurs.
It was... No, but when he scored a goal and ran the entire pitch to rub it in there.
Yeah, that was the 2009-10 season when he was at Manchester. He just left Arsenal for Manchester City.
So nice to be with you, G, because you literally know everything. It's nice to fill in these blanks in my mind. Adebayor was crazy, wasn't he? Because I can't remember who came in as manager and he suddenly started firing. Was it Sherwood or someone?
Yeah, it would have been Sherwood.
He looked hopeless. And then he started scoring
He'd been kind of on the outside under ADB, hadn't he?
That's right. And then he just had a little purple patch.
Yeah. He was unplayable when he was good. When he was really on it, he was ridiculously good.
I find it very annoying when players, you think you know they're good and then they suddenly completely fall off and then they'll pull it round and it's tough to keep up. Porro is one of those players. He played very well last night, but he can be... he can really struggle as well.
So do you have warmer memories of that Harry Redknapp team than is that your favourite team?
No, I think the Poch team is the one I will hopefully not spend the rest of my life nostalgically remember. But no, for me, I would like Spurs maybe forever to be Lloris, Walker, Rose, Toby and Jan, Desk, Dele, Eriksson, Son, Kane, obviously Moussa Dembele, who had various partners, but they were decent as well. Wanyama in there. Those players, when they were firing, and they fired a lot. I mean, we had those seasons where we were unbeaten at home. Then we knocked this classic Spurs. Then we knocked the stadium down. We don't lose at this stadium. Let's knock it down. That was a great team. And of course, came second in the league to Chelsea. Probably should have won more trophies. Poch obviously didn't prioritise the trophies. Maybe that was a mistake. I think that would have given us more confidence. And then when we weren't playing well, got to that final of the Champions League. Oh my God, we could have won the Champions League. I think that's my favourite. Yeah. Even though Bale is my favourite player, I think.
Yeah. So Bale will be your number one.
I think so. Yeah. I just the most exciting player to watch. Just Bale in full flow was. Also, I think what I really liked about it is he wasn't great, and he was left back, and we were losing these games, and then you started to see signs, and that's what all football fans do. They'll see a glimpse of something and go, oh, actually, like Bergvall at the moment, or as some people will say, very well. I don't know where are you going.
That is caught. Apparently, it's correct in Sweden.
It is correct, but I'm not comfortable with it. I think he'd be a better player if he was Bergvall. Very well.
It sounds a bit more robust.
I think Bergvall wouldn't have gotten injured.
The hard G in the middle just sounds a bit more.
See, very well last night. He went down. He's out. They took him off. If that was Bergvall, he would have played on. He would have just taken it on the chin and moved on.
We also wanted to ask you about being a comedian, and do you find Tottenham funny? Do you find a kind of gallows humour inherent within Tottenham fans, which you can sort of, which resonates with you?
I think definitely. Sport is entertainment, ultimately, and I think there's a lot of humour in teams that are struggling. You do like to be, because we're all laughing at the same things, and it is often, when a player, look, we're having a laugh a little bit about what players, what holds them back, what they're good at, what they're not good about. The endless pain of supporting a team that never delivers, the predictability, this whole sort of Dr. Tottenham thing, where you just know things are inevitable, even down to this bizarre win against Borussia Dortmund. They even go the opposite way. Even when you fully expect us to get thrashed, we'll suddenly just win the game. Yeah.
Well, that's what we often say, that Spursy is like a spectrum that kind of swings both ways. It's not all the bad stuff. There is some kind of upside to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's lifelong. So there's going to be highs and lows. That's what football is. It's very unique in the sense that you are wedded to this one club until you die. People will say that. They'll go, I'm Tottenham till I die. I'm Sunderland till I die. They have to reference death. That is a long time. The good news is you're allowed to support another club in the afterlife. I'm probably going to go with, I don't know. Should we ask that question? So who are you going to support in the afterlife?
I don't even have a good answer.
Well, have a think. I mean, it's going to have to be a team that gives you more satisfaction.
I wouldn't like to. You go with Barcelona, surely, wouldn't you? That
Our
feels
Barca's a fun ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
But
there's
what
success
about
there, but a certain sort of pathos as well.
Not Madrid. You wouldn't go Madrid.
Just so you can win and win and win and win.
The Seattle Sounders. I just thought I'd throw it in the mix.
Yeah, maybe.
I suppose. But what's it like? But when you win and win and win, I suppose it's really hard when you lose. I mean, it's still, and then you get used to winning. Isn't that terrible? Could you imagine such a thing?
I have seen our Barcelona reporter say, you know, this club kind of eyebrow, you know, rolling his eyes and saying, and only at Barcelona could this kind of thing happen. And you do think,
all fans do that.
well, yeah, exactly.
Everyone does that about their team, I think, to an extent. We're also curious, other famous Spurs fans, are you friends with any other famous Spurs fans? Can you out any famous Spurs fans?
I love the way that you think they need to be outed. They go incognito. They wear balaclavas. Famous Spurs fans. Well, Paul Whitehouse is you know, he's been there a lot. Used to sit behind me. I've seen Jude Law at Spurs. Seem to know his stuff. Stephen Mangan. He's quite into the Spurs. Adele says she's a Spurs fan, and we will absolutely take it because she is a superstar and she grew up in Tottenham. But I did go to an audience with Adele, and it was the Q&A section, and someone in the crowd said, "We just got Conte." I said, "What do you think of Antonio Conte?" And she didn't know that he was a person. But we'll take her. We love her. I tell you one I didn't expect was I don't know his name, but he is married to Princess Anne. So whoever that man is, who's in the royal family,
There's some quick googling.
Yeah, there's some quick googling. He really knew his stuff.
Sir Timothy Lawrence.
Sir Timothy Lawrence.
Sir Timothy Lawrence is Spurs fan.
But he really knew his stuff.
Is he like in a WhatsApp group?
Yeah, he was like, why don't they try Kulu on
He's
the left?
fully coys.
No, he was fully coys. He was like, Bentancur's not nearly the player he was since the injury.
This is a good news story.
Yeah, he was fully coys. I hope I'm not betraying. I'm going to say that a lot. I think Tom Hardy's a fan. Well, he did the voiceover. He did the voiceover, but I've never seen him there.
Is Kenneth Branagh?
I think he might have a box. I've never seen him there, but I think him. Oh, and then Tom Holland. We're happy to have him. We're happy to have Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
I think he's a big Spurs fan.
TV writer Joe Barton is a big Spurs fan. You know him.
Yeah.
Himesh Patel, the actor, is also a big Spurs fan.
Right. We've got a few knocking around. Simon Mayo.
Simon Mayo is a big Spurs fan.
He's a big Spurs. Yeah. There's not enough. Maybe is there enough? I don't know. Is that?
Well, you wouldn't want there to be too many.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, you've said that, and it's true.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question about? So you're maybe like in terms of like a match-going Spurs fan, you're kind of the most visible celebrity Spurs fan. I think that's maybe safe to say. You might not want to say it, but I'll say it.
Yeah, because I go to the games.
Yeah. But has there ever been a moment where they've kind of picked you out on Sky, which they often do, and you've been kind of reacting to something, and you've just thought, I really wish this wouldn't happen?
Well, there was a thing, I don't know if you saw it a couple of weeks ago, when Son came back. Did you see that clip?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with the guy with the...
So Xavi Simons scores that goal where it wasn't the one where he ran the whole pitch, but he'd scored. Xavi Simons scores. I think it was a penalty.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Xavi Simons does his celebration. I was just trying to do it. I didn't realise he had one because he hadn't scored. He hadn't scored enough goals. So I started to try and do it. And then TNT just filmed me doing it. But unbeknownst to me, Heung-min Son's bodyguard, who's also like his videographer, was holding up this little GoPro that literally, you've got to look, if you've seen it, it looks like a handgun. It looks like there is an assassin in front of me about to shoot Heung-min Son. So it was the weirdest thing. I woke up and someone was like, "You've gone viral," and I was like, "What?" And I went, "Oh, it got like 20 million views," and I was like, "What the hell have I done?" But I had nothing. I went in the comments. And I thought, "Well, I'm going to be being slated for something," and I don't understand it. It was all to do with this assassin. So yeah, you never know when you're gonna. There's a telly though where I sit, so that's quite good. I can keep an eye on that. It's quite weird if you suddenly see it if you pop up on the telly. So yeah, you don't want to be. Sometimes I panic if I've mouthed something, if something negative. But yeah, that is always a risk.
Okay, in the final section of the show, we're going to do some quick questions for Michael. Best Spurs moment of your life?
Oh God. Well, obviously, it's a funny one because I would say the winning the Europa because we finally won a trophy, and I was so proud of myself for crying because I didn't know if that genuine emotion was going to happen. So I did cry. It was a huge relief, but I can't deny that I think the biggest moment was that Lucas Moura third goal. I lost my body. It was like an out of body experience.
Were you in Amsterdam?
I was in Amsterdam, and I remember going into half time and I watched Lucas Moura. He would always pray going into a half. He would stand in the middle and pray and look up to the sky. And I said to my sons, "He does a lot of praying, Lucas Moura, but nothing ever happens." I remember saying those words. And then I've got goosebumps thinking about it. And then he scored those 2 goals. And I can't remember exactly the score, but basically it wasn't even going into extra time. They were through.
We
were
away
goals,
back in the away goals era. And when he scored that, my legs just went from beneath me. It was just total hysteria. And then the really fun bit was that next wave of realizing we're in the final of the Champions League. It hadn't actually registered that's what that meant. Yeah. It was unbelievable. And I think that's where football is, affects you the most is when you want to win every game comfortably 3-0 and have ole football for the last 10 minutes. But it really hits hard when you're losing a game and you win those last. I mean, do you remember when Bergwijn scored those 2 goals in injury time?
Right, yeah.
An inconsequential Premier League game, but it was delirium that he'd come on and scored those 2 goals. That's when it really, really gets you. So yeah, that moment was, I was so happy.
Nothing else in life gives you that last minute winner feeling. What worst Spurs moment?
Oh, there's been a lot of downers, haven't there? It's been a I don't know really. Worst Spurs. There's too many to choose from. It's a buffet of catastrophe that I'm currently walking along in my mind. I think of recent. I don't know if it was a moment, but I'm still very upset about that Chelsea game when we were top of the league a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I wasn't there. I was recording my TV show, but I was so excited in those first 10 games. We were unbeaten for the whole. We were unbeaten. I think we were the only unbeaten team in England, and we were playing really good football. And that we had, Bissouma was looking really skillful. Maddison was amazing. Sarr looked good. We were expressing ourselves, and I was just like, this is going to be amazing. We look phenomenal. And then we played that game and we scored early. And I was recording my show and I went to check the score and I ran into my dressing room and it said 2-0 Spurs. Because we got a disallowed goal.
Yeah.
So I was like, we're literally going to win the league. It's finally, after all these years, the Chelsea curse is lifted. We're going to win this game. I went and recorded the show and I came out. And there were all these texts from my sons. And I was like, what could have happened? And then it was like, what? We lost 4-1 and Maddison's injured and Van der Ven's injured and we had 9 men. And it literally, if you look at it, since then, it's been a massive uphill struggle. Massive uphill struggle. So, of recent times, I still wake up in a sweat over that and I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, that was like the last time Spurs were good. They've lost far more games than they've won since then.
I was going to ask you how work and Spurs kind of balances for you, because it feels like there must have been...
And I'll tell you exactly how it works.
Go on.
I put all the Spurs games in my diary and nothing else. at the beginning of the season and work around them. And every once in a while, there's a panic when they move the fixtures.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be on the phone going, can we maybe try and move this gig? That's incredibly annoying. When it suddenly moves to a Monday or a Wednesday or a Friday.
Yeah.
But no, I work around Spurs games, and when we only started getting good, there was the season in the Champions League where we lost to Juventus, and we were actually playing really well. And do you remember we beat Real Madrid in the group stages? Yeah. And I hadn't done that with the Champions League, and I had an arena show for the final, and I was terrified that we were going to get to the final, and I wasn't going to see it. I wasn't pleased that we lost to Juventus.
Sure.
But yeah.
Would you have cancelled that if Spurs had got to that final? Would you have cancelled? Do you remember where it was?
Yeah, I think it was in Brighton. I couldn't. You can't cancel an arena show. That's thousands of people.
Well,
that was also. I think that was when we beat Dortmund, and Son's scored some really good goals, and I celebrated, and I was sitting we were at Wembley that season.
Yeah.
And I celebrated that my glasses fell off and fell over the side, and I missed the whole second half. Explained to me. I've got really bad eyesight, and then my son was like, okay, "We've scored it, Lorente. It's a header, deflect." It was basically like watching the radio in the stadium.
Amazing. Michael, we're a bit pushed for time, so we just want to rattle through some quick questions if we can. The last few minutes. Favorite Tottenham player ever?
I'm going to go Gareth Bale, I think. I mean, Kane is a legend, but I'm still a bit upset.
If there was one Tottenham player you'd love to go for dinner with, who would it be?
Oh, goodness. For dinner? Well, I mean, probably Madders. Yeah, I really like Madders.
Madders is a great guy.
He's really, really funny. He's charismatic. He loves Spurs. He's a great player. Madders. But then I feel bad for saying this, but I think that I read an interview with him when he actually got asked the same question and picked Anton Deck and James Corden. So I've only just remembered that. So this is I'm not sure he's going to accept the invitation.
One Tottenham manager you'd love to go for dinner with?
Tottenham manager oh right, yeah. Oh goodness. Well, it's normally the one who's in charge. So, I mean, I don't know when this is going out. Manager of yesteryear. They're funny old things, managers. I come into contact with managers a bit at Spurs. Like the England manager. Tuchel is such a character.
Oh, yeah.
He is. Have you met him?
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
He's very funny. He's very smart.
I saw him at the Europa League final, and... because he sort of teases me. I didn't even know he knows who I was, but like at the Arsenal game, he came up to me and, "How did they let you in?" And I was like, "You get to eat at the buffet?" He said, "Surely outside in a trough." I mean, he's quite a character. Not a fan, it seems. Anyway, I saw him at the Europa League final, and I said, "Thomas, are Spurs going to win this game?" And he said, "Yes, you will win this game." And I was like, "Amazing. Why?" And I thought he was going to give me this incredible analytical insight. And he said, "Because it is the year of the bird." And I said, what are you talking about? He said, the Crystal Palace, the Eagles have won. And then you have the Magpies for the Newcastle. Liverpool wins the league, the liver bird. And you are the big chicken thing. You're going to win. So I thought, fair point. And it sort of played out. Spurs managers... Yeah, I don't know. I'm sore at them for leaving. I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to warm to Poch again, but Poch is gone. So whoever's the manager, they've all been really nice. But ultimately, it never ends well, does it? So if Thomas Frank is still the manager when this goes out, I would like to have dinner with him, and I would like to suggest a few things. Is that fair?
That's very fair.
That's a great answer. I'm told we are out of time, but Michael, thank you so much for coming on View from the Lane. It's great to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure. Come on, you Spurs.